and everything seems to be working. So it's always a finger crossed when I start the streams. Like, is everything working?
Your voice just kind of died down at the end, but I think that was for dramatic intent.
That's right. All right. So this is session 27 of Masks of Nyarlathotep. You guys are currently in Shanghai. You have managed to track down the elusive Mr. Brady. And he had quite a bit of information to share, which is summarized in the Google Drive in handouts and here in Foundry on handouts for you. So you can reference them when you need to. The big takeaways from his conversation were that at least 4 members of the Carlisle expedition are alive. Jack Brady himself here in Shanghai. Roger Carlyle, who went insane and Jack got out of a bad situation and left him in a sanitarium in Hong Kong. Sir Aubrey Penhew, who is also in Shanghai. And Dr. Robert Houston, who is in Australia. Leaving the only unaccounted for member of the expedition, Hypatia Masters, unaccounted for. Numerous people here in Shanghai are looking for, not necessarily Jack, but are looking for a scroll that he stole. This scroll was apparently belonged to a woman named Lin. What's her last name? Yan Yu. She wants the scroll back. She's offered you guys a considerable amount of money for the scroll. There's also a gentleman named Ho Fang who is interested in the scroll. It seems as though she's a collector. She doesn't seem to have any fingers in any occult pies. Ho Fang, on the other hand, from what you have gathered, is leading a cult called the Cult of the Bloated Woman, one of the many faces of Nyarlathotep.
And it's my understanding that that scroll, which is in Brady's possession, is a week away from being useful to us.
He has somebody translating it. He estimates it'll be fully translated in 6 days. His hope is that the scroll will tell him what to do with an item called the Eye of Light and Darkness. Seems to be perhaps a seal of some sort, similar to what you guys dealt with in Peru. During Roger's crazy phase, he broke a seal on a pyramid in Egypt, and bad things started to happen from that point forward. All of which seems to accumulate in Roger's assertion that his god is coming. Probably not good. The other important information from Jack is that Sir Aubrey is up to something on a place called Grey Dragon Island. Brady's not exactly sure what, but his friends in a rather militant rebellion are planning to find a way to disrupt whatever that is. But the more pressing matter for Jack is the fact that Ho Fang has taken his girlfriend. And he is adamant on getting her back. He seems to be at the mind of, like, what's the sense of saving the world if you lose the one person you care about? Kind of a nihilistic look, but such as...
And that cuts to miles kind of deep, yeah.
So he plans to go to Ho Fang's and rescue his girlfriend. You guys managed to talk a little bit of sense into him. And he's going to get his militia friends to stage a distraction, try to draw some of the guards away from Hofang's mansion. He's hoping that since none of them want to go directly into the mansion, that they'll at least be willing to, like, stage a distraction outside of the mansion. And he's hoping you guys will go with him into the mansion. But that is something for you guys to discuss as we pick up.
Chris, can you clarify something from your notes on Discord?
Yep.
You put for the number 1 key, you put the Jack Brady in brackets Singapore and then this Aubrey Penhue in Shanghai. Should it be the other way around since we encountered Brady in Shanghai?
No, they should both be Shanghai. I mistyped.
Oh, okay. Because I had to miss a good chunk of the info dump, so I was just curious.
Yeah, no worries. There we go. Fixed now.
So we have another person from the expedition who's somewhere in the city. Does Jack know where she is?
Sir Aubrey is here in the city someplace.
Oh, it's a guy?
Yeah.
I misread it as Audrey. Okay, I see.
Yep, no worries. The only female member of the expedition is Hypatia, and there is no sign of her.
Okay, so Jack doesn't know where Penhue is?
He can look into it. He hasn't had much luck. He's keeping a fairly low profile. He did say in his large info dump that he saw Sir Aubrey on the deck of his ship, a ship called the Dark Mistress. It's possible that he's hanging out there. Other than that, we will turn things over to you guys. See, Anita is AFK. You guys also know that there is a creature that has been summoned at least once to try to get to Evelyn. That seems to come out at night.
Chris, where are we right now?
You guys can be pretty much wherever you would like to be. You met Jack at the Stumbling Tiger bar, but after he leaves to make arrangements with his militia friends, you guys are free to go or do or be wherever you would like to be.
So, how do we do this without dying? How do we do this in an intelligent way? Because Jack's not gonna stop, and
If we're going to actually potentially get our noses bloodied and get involved in this, we need to make sure we are A, equipped, and B, I don't know if this is possible, but this is such a lawless place. My recommendation would be hiring muscle and people to throw in as a first wave, as it were. More targets.
yeah,
More targets for them means less chance of us being the target and dying.
just not sure how we're gonna find someone willing to attack Ofang of all people.
If you can throw enough money at somebody, people will do almost anything.
Possible. I just have my doubts. He seems to be very, very feared in this city, but might work. It's not my line of business, if I say.
Well, in a place like this, never underestimate someone being needy. The question is finding someone who is needy but yet skilled and competent.
Yeah. And also will not immediately betray us to go warn Ofeng of what we're doing.
That too.
There must be people who ate Ofeng. I mean, the militia seems to aid him, you China, but they don't aid him enough to be willing to go fight him. So who could hate that guy enough and be fearless enough to accept to do something about it?
Hey, Chris, does my secret society have a clubhouse here or anything?
I think that was Salvatore that had the secret society.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Yep.
I was surprised that your new guy had one too.
No. This guy is totally not like that. Yet.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll join a secret society at some point, but not yet.
Okay, perfect. Just to catch Anita up. So currently the discussion is how you can help Jack get into Hofang's mansion and find his girlfriend without getting yourselves killed in the process.
Yeah, I think I suggested a distraction.
I was about to say a distraction would be the other option.
Yeah, and Jack is arranging a distraction. I think there's also discussion about hiring some extra muscle as well as like basically meat shields.
The question is, who is not gonna betray us and will actually accept to go against Ofang? So I'm wondering, is there anyone who hates Ofang enough and is daring enough to go? Because even if that militia hates him, they are not willing to go into his house.
Other than Lin Yen Yu, I suppose she isn't willing to go. That's what she has us for.
Oh, she kind of said that if it went up to Ofang, it was game over and she wouldn't press on. Or even eat Urge, it's not an option, I think.
Did she give us a time limit, or is the only time limit we have how long Hofan's going to take to threaten the girlfriend of the guy whose name I can't remember at the moment?
I mean, she said, oh, sorry.
No, she just said, "Bring me the scroll, and I will pay you handsomely."
Except, so bring her the scroll, which is great. So basically the only time limit we have is how long Ho Fang is going to take to threaten Jack Brady's girlfriend.
Exactly.
Because that 6-day time limit is something that we could work on. And I don't know if it's useful, Dr. Carter. I don't know if you can help translate that, or is it in a language you don't understand?
From what I understand, it's Chinese. I have just started Chinese. Yeah, it would not be useful. The thing is, Jack is gonna attack that place like tomorrow, and we also have to have Ofang stop sending hunting R's at us. So it would be better if his plan would work, and keeping him alive would be useful. But trying to find a way to help him and support him in that without us getting killed. It was suggested that we hire muscle, but I don't know where we're going to find muscle that is not going to betray us, will accept to attack Ofang, and will be slightly skilled.
That's not going to happen.
Our translator might be able to help.
I mean, everyone here is afraid of Ofang. Don't feel people that are gonna want to get on his bad side. We can try. I'm just not the best at finding people to do that kind of work.
Mr. Brady might know of some people.
The people he knew was the people who refused to get in. I feel it was like the big of what he explained to us.
I'm not sure who else to reach out to. We haven't really been here long enough to make any contacts.
Get everybody to give me an intelligence roll.
Sorry, what role did you want, Chris?
Intelligence.
Of course I will in the 90s. My dice, I tell you.
Specifically from Miles.
No, everybody.
Okay.
Oh, Evelyn's got a sanity check, but
I hope not.
Right.
the tea is off a little bit. Sanity check.
Oof. All right. So Alvin and Miles and Dr. Carter, as you guys are, kind of thinking like, who do we know? And then you remember the first time you're hearing the stumbling tiger, there was another gentleman looking for Mr. Brady.
Oh, yes, the Japanese fellow.
Right. Sogi
The guy who's
Taro.
pretending to be drunk?
Yeah.
Yep.
Imperial Navy.
Could we get the Imperial Navy on a strike against Ofeng, you think?
He's really the only other person we've met.
I mean, it would be worth a try. They are probably not afraid of Ofeng. And if we can convince them that Ofeng is a threat, even to Japan, and maybe we could offer something pertaining to being able to speak with Mr. Brady or speak with New China in exchange.
I don't think Brady's gonna go against New China.
Oh no, I don't think he's gonna. But I think the Japanese Imperial Navy want to keep an eye on what's happening in China more than dismantle New China. New China, yeah. I think they're more after information than acting against that group.
It's really the only other option we have, so.
The one problem with possibly approaching Captain Taro is we don't necessarily know if there's already possibly an antagonistic relationship from one side to the other, and if that could actually make things worse. I'm not opposed to the idea. I'm just putting that forward as a possibility.
I mean, if he's antagonistic against Fang, maybe we can use that to our advantage. We could always check with Jack what he thinks of if he has any knowledge of the Japanese Imperial Navy.
That would be most sensible than going to the captain first and then just bringing him as a surprise.
Yeah,
What is
definitely.
what is our objective? To be able to raid Hofeng, or is there something else? Because there's a lot of moving pieces, and if we want to be clear on what we want to do, it might help us figure out what pieces we want to get involved.
Well, in my opinion, Fang right now has Mr. Brady's girlfriend. Mr. Brady's gonna do whatever he needs to get her out. Right now, what I see as our objectives, trying to keep Mr. Brady alive a bit longer, trying to stop Fang from keeping that ritual up that attacks us every night, and at the same time, making action that will delay actors long enough for the scroll to be deciphered before any of the other actor get close enough to it.
So we want to buy time, is what I understand.
And stop
Buy time,
Fang.
yes, buy time for ourselves to be able to figure stuff out. Buy time for Brady's girlfriend, and buy time for the translation. Is that my understanding of what we're trying to do?
Don't know if stopping Fang and buying time is the same thing, but
Well, every night that we don't kill Hofang, it's trying to kill us, right?
yes,
He's trying to kill us. So we don't have a path to killing Hofang today, which means it'll take at least one more day.
yes,
So right now we're just buying time for ourselves.
yes.
Okay. With that said, why don't we offer Hofang the same thing that was offered to us to buy time? If he's looking for the scroll, he may or may not know that we've had contact with Brady, and then we can say, hey, if you give us a week, we might be able to get you the scroll. If you
Because
don't kill
Brady is
us.
gonna attack tomorrow.
Right. He's going to attack tomorrow because he thinks his girlfriend is in trouble tomorrow. But if we say, hey, if you don't go after Brady, if you don't go after Brady's girlfriend, there's a way for us to be able to find all of this, to do all of this. If you give us a week, we can get you the scroll. Then we're going to be able to buy ourselves some time. Hopefully, he won't send something to kill us because he'll think we're working for him because we don't want to die. And we might be able to put something together. That
I
said,
mean,
I don't know how to get in touch with Hofei.
and personally, I just don't see why you would accept. Like, we need to have
Well, he
something to
wants the
offer him.
scroll. He wants the scroll, right? And we can say, hey, we can get you that scroll. Give us a week. We just don't want to die. Please, please, please don't kill us. We promise to give you the scroll.
Yeah. It's just that he has a plan right now to get the scroll back, which he probably believes in. And if he believes in us more than the plan, there is no reason for him to keep her alive. Like, I'm just setting up, like, we need to think all of those things before we speak with him.
Yeah.
And in terms of speaking with Hofeng, he does have a warehouse shipping business here.
I've already offered my suggestions, so it's up to you gentlemen to make the decision.
Well, I'm not the brains of this operation, so I'll leave that to those people who are smarter than I.
Then I would suggest that we speak with Jack and let him know about the Japanese captain, and then we speak to the Japanese captain for backup.
I mean,
The
I
only
would.
thing, sorry, the only thing that I'm fearful for is if hopefully Jack knows what he's getting himself into because he's doing this quickly because the love of his life is on the line. I just haven't seen personally any kind of information on Ofang's holdings or where we could go about taking care of him because that he seems to have a bunch of bodyguards and a bunch of control and he's expecting an attack at any point in time. So I just want to make
Well,
sure that we're not throwing our lives away here.
right. I don't think any of us want that. Why don't you put your skills to use and watch his shipping company? See if you can establish any sort of pattern in his behavior and where and how he travels. It may be that while he's traveling, he is when he's most vulnerable. Possible. I know it's certainly when we seem to be. And then if he's less protected at either his business or his home, or while traveling, we can use that as an opportunity to speak with him. See if we can broker a deal. And in the meantime, have Jack made aware of the Japanese captain and possibly speak to the Japanese captain about backup. Does that sound feasible?
I feel it's our best bet because I don't know where we could recruit muscle, and I don't know how we could speak with Ofang, and I do not have the word to try to convince him of anything. So, trying to find an angle of approach, serving him, and trying to see if the Japanese angle is usable seems to be my best bet for now, or best bet for now.
Alrighty. So, what are you guys doing?
Do we have any way of contacting that Japanese gentleman?
You know that he was here at the bar, and the bartender Fergus seems to know a lot of things.
He also left us a card,
He did leave
didn't
you a
he?
card. Yep.
Okay. So we could try to find Brady to talk to him about this before contacting him. And we could check up on the warehouse from a distance.
I mean, if Jack is planning to attack, I hope that he has information on the warehouse. We don't need it firsthand if he tells us and gives us details on it.
Yeah, but we can start by going talking back to him, see what we can do. If we can find him.
Perhaps our guide knows some people who can do some advanced scouting for us. Should we need.
It's worth a try.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, what's the plan?
Um, let's ask our guide and let's try to find Brady. Like That's what I think it's what it is.
I think the idea is let's go to our guide, see if he knows some people and can pull some strings to just have some people do some recon on that area for us.
And then we can try to find Brady.
I don't think anyone's going to want to spy on Hofang, but we can try.
Can't hurt to ask.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. We can try.
All right. So yeah, you can find Lee easy enough. You know, he's been enjoying his time off away from the crazy.
Didn't I send him to look into something about psychotherapy?
Yes.
His time away from the crazy, huh?
Yep.
In his defense, that's way more sane than what we're doing.
Oh yeah, by far. Absolutely.
So yeah, so when Lee finally catches up with you, like, you know, kind of after lunch, early afternoon sort of thing, he has asked around. He thinks that he has found a small, not a hospital, but like a monastery that would be willing to take Magenta Joy in to do what they can for her.
Oh,
It is the best I could find.
where are they? Where are they located?
They are located.
Sorry, Chris. You said it was a what?
A monastery.
Not a terrible idea.
I don't know how much they would be able to help, but it would be better than the care that she is receiving.
Yes, that's yes.
So how has your day been? I don't want to know.
Well, we're going to tell you anyhow. Sort of.
Hmm.
We need you to find. What were we going to ask him to find, Dr. Carter?
We would need someone to scout for us the general location of a warehouse in the bay.
We have an address for that.
What's happening around it and things like that. Keep an eye out.
You understand that the people I know are students.
Students need money too, don't they?
That is true.
Hmm.
We're not asking for anything more than them to be eyes and ears, give us a heads up on what we might be having to deal with.
I see. I can ask. Most students do make some of their money from helping, you know, people like yourselves to negotiate society.
Yes, well. It is certainly a unique society.
Hey, Chris, are student protests common in this city right now?
Oh, heck yes.
Right now, it is absolutely terrifying.
It would also be unfortunate if a student protest were to start anywhere near Ho Feng's place, possibly.
We will
I feel like
see.
if it got in his trouble, if it got in his way, he would just put it.
I can see if people know any information or can keep eyes on a place for you. I assume that I'm being paid extra for this.
Obviously.
Very well. Give me the address.
I'm going to scribble it down.
Okay, thank you. Do you require my services for anything else today?
Unless anyone has something specific, I think that's going to be all for today.
I will meet you at the hotel in the morning.
Thank you.
All right, so he goes off to see what he can do.
We have purposefully left Ho Feng's name out of this, right?
I believe so, yes.
Yes.
I mean, his name is emblazoned on the building you sent Lee to watch, but
But he might not know that yet until he.
until he gets there. All right. And then what else are you guys doing?
Any way of us finding Brady right now?
You found Brady because he found you. But
Well, we have the house.
You have the house.
We shouldn't all go there, though.
No,
Not
we could
get attention.
split our attention between the house and the bar. Two places we know he frequents.
Sounds fair. Because we need to speak with him before we speak with the Japanese gentleman.
It only seems fair.
I don't know if we care about it at this point, but we could look into the Dark Mistress and see if Sir Penhew is available, if that's worth having a discussion about, if we can find him.
Isn't he in Hong Kong or is he also in Shanghai?
Shanghai, I believe.
Is it? Okay.
Mr. Carlyle is in Hong Kong, resting comfortably in a sanitarium.
Yes, Penhew is in Shanghai.
But I do think that Mr. Penyu is working with Mr. Ofang. Not sure it's going to be a very friendly conversation. We can check it, but
Yes, because Penhew was the pale viper, isn't he?
According to
the
Jack,
one
yes.
the one supposed to kill Jack.
Mm-hmm. And he was having items delivered to Ho Fang's import-export warehouse by our late opponent in England. So if we speak with Mr. Penhew, we need to not mention Mr. Brady, or the fact that we put an end to the shipments coming out of England. But I don't think that dividing 4 of us between 3 locations is a very wise idea.
I was going to say, I don't think dividing even into 2 locations is necessarily a good idea if our intent is to help Mr. Brady.
He does seem to be in a bit of trouble, doesn't he? If
I
we
just think that all of us going to that secret stash house would compromise it.
I'm not sure what Mr. Penhue would really have to offer. Other than confirming where he is. I don't see any particular advantage unless we find. Unless Jack knows of a thief who'd be willing to try to steal something from him. And then who knows what we'd get. Something dangerous, no doubt. But at least it would be in our hands and not Penhue's.
Mr. Jack might know someone in that proclivity, but I fear that he won't be very receptive to any plans that do not involve saving his love first.
That he does seem to have a rather singular focus, doesn't he?
I mean, I get it. Just trying to be of assistance without killing herself is rather precarious.
Right.
Pretty sure that if we can manage to assist him with that, we can have his help on a bunch of matters. Maybe hiring a thief to get on that boat would be of interest.
Well, I mean, if we knew that Penhue was going to be away from the yacht, we might be able to convince the thief to take a run at it. But I think we're going to have to wait until after Ms. Mei Ling is back in Jack's arms.
I think that we need to concentrate our forces. If our objective is to take a run at Ho Fang, that is what we should do and not split ourselves in different directions. And if
Right.
Jack is going to do that, I hope to heck that he has done some kind of preliminary work. So I would suggest contacting him first as opposed to second and saying, hey, we want to help. What information do you have? Do you mind if we bring in the Japanese police? Military.
Let's go track down Jack then. Because if I drink any more tea, I'm going to be seeing through time.
Okay.
The tea is nice and all, but
Yeah, we need to find Jack.
we do.
So
The house.
if we don't want to split up, we can be nearby and send like 1 or 2 people knock at the door, see if we can get direction to find him. With the other nearby as backup, just don't want to expose that place.
Well, Mr. Sharp, you know where this house is, correct? You and You and Mr. Franklin? Do you think you can find it again?
The Japanese gentleman?
No, the house that Jack was staying at.
Chris, do I remember where that is? Can I
Yeah,
even get close to navigating there?
yeah, you can easily find that.
Yeah. Put it on a map.
All right. So let's go there first. And if he isn't there, we can leave a card with an invitation to join us at the bar. Then we can go to the
Chris,
bar and see if we happen to run into the Japanese fellow, and if not, we'll just wait there for Jack.
Chris,
Yep.
has Jack given us some way to contact him other than...
Oh, hell no.
Okay, so let's try to make a run for Jack. I agree. And then let's try to make a... Well, there's no point in contacting our Japanese friend if we haven't warned Jack, right? We're not here to stab Jack in the back.
Exactly.
So let's run down every lead that we can to find Jack, starting there.
So yeah, you can easily make your way to the house where Jack has been staying. I keep wanting to call it the house that Jack built, but he didn't build it.
I was thinking of that. That sounds like the name of something, but what?
It's a cozy little bungalow. It's near the outskirts of town, near the wall to the old city.
Let's make sure we're not followed.
I assume you guys are keeping an eye open, but somebody can give me a spot hidden roll.
I think Alvin's the only one good at spot hidden. You want it from everybody, though?
Yeah, may as well.
Okay.
It's on
We're
you,
all
Phil.
sufficiently paranoid now.
Everybody's kind
Well-
of keeping their eyes open.
Chris, in addition, I don't know if you want me to roll stealth or anything like that. We still assume that we're always being followed, right?
Yeah.
We've been proven right too many times to think otherwise.
Yeah, it's a safe bet.
Let's check for a tail and try to dodge a tail even if we don't find it.
Yeah.
That's correct.
And it's not hard to lose yourself in the crowd here in Shanghai. Like it's still, I mean, it's getting on towards evening. It's like 4 o'clock, but there's throngs of people. It's not hard, and between Miles and Alvin, you guys are confident that you're not being followed, or if you are, they're so good that they'll probably follow you even through the crowd.
Yeah, it's not hard to find us. We're like heads, shoulders, and most of our chest taller than everyone else, right? You said?
You're a fair bit, yeah.
And we look distinctly different. We do not fit in here at all.
Especially as you start getting out of the international section of Shanghai and into like the older parts of the city. And a couple of times, as you're going, you do hear like off in the distance, you hear like gunfire here and there, the odd explosion. Whatever is happening here in the city is an ongoing thing. But relatively sure that you're not being followed. You make your way to the house that Jack was staying in.
Miss Collins, can you remind me that we need to find passable clothing on the way back?
I'm sure if we give young Mr. Chang a handful of money, he'll be able to find us something more culturally appropriate to the area. We do stand out a bit.
Maybe just a hat. I just cut my hair. Okay, Chris, we make our way there.
All right. No problem at all. Tiny little house kind of nestled amongst some other houses. Are you all approaching, or are some people holding back?
I mean, he's seen us all, right? The last time we spoke to them was all of us together, right?
Yes.
Jack has. His elderly roommate, or whoever that man was, hasn't.
My fear was exposing that place. If we were a bunch of people coming there.
Well, are you and I going to be more obvious standing out here on the street, or more obvious behind the walls of this house?
Yeah, I
Well,
suggest we all go in.
I'd trust you on this. It's more your jam than
As
mine.
long as he's not a crazed painter with an attic full of horrifying things, we should be fine.
So you're pretty sure the Chinese man was not a lizard people?
Hope not. I never want to see them again.
All right. So, do you guys go up and knock on the door?
We do, and we
Okay.
pass some spot checks, so I'm assuming it's guarded, but
Okay.
we're going very cautiously.
All right. So the house, it's a small bungalow. Like a lot of houses, there is like a wall around it. It's like a 12-foot tall wall around it with a fairly robust looking wooden gate.
Oh, a small 12-foot wall that's manned with a giant gate. Thank you, Chris.
It's no different than any of the other houses around here.
Ah, okay. Everyone's getting ready for war. Got it.
Yes. But you can like knock on the door. Get everybody to give me listen rolls.
Listen is something we don't have, right? As a group?
Not.
I have
not,
some, but I can't roll it very well.
I can't roll anything today.
I have
What did you ask us
40%.
about?
Listen.
Oh. Oh.
It's
Yeah, I
not
have 40%.
anybody's
It's
strong
not
suit.
horrible.
30% is good.
Yeah, I just can't roll well tonight so far.
Welcome to my terrible, terrible world.
So yeah, as you knock on the door, you can hear some movement around inside. Then Alvin, you pick up the very faint but distinct sound of basically a weapon being relaxed, like instead of like it being cocked, being uncocked, if that's such a word. The little sounded like the hammer going back into position.
Whoa.
And this Chinese voice from inside says something. And then the door opens just a little bit. Like, oh, Mr. Brady's friends, come in, come in, come in. And this like mid-60s Chinese gentleman ushers you into the home. And as you do, you can see he's got not only does he have like a 12 gauge shotgun, but it looks like there was a mechanism that basically like he rests the shotgun so it's pointing at the door, and then there's like basically a wire and string mechanism that attaches it to the door, so if the door was to open forcefully, the shotgun would hit whoever came through the door. And you also notice that on the floor next to the door is a fairly large battery that has a couple of wires that look like they're just long enough to attach to the door handle.
Yikes.
Just to confirm, that looks like a Fallout style shotgun trap.
Yep. And after he ushers you in, he closes the door and he hooks everything back up.
Are you expecting trouble?
Always.
I mean, given the student protests we've seen lately, that's probably fair, but that seems a bit elaborate.
Oh, the students are not my concern.
Also fair.
When you were here last, I don't believe I introduced myself. My name is Mu Hussein. Musain.
Glad to make your acquaintance.
Previously of the museum here in Shanghai, but now semi-gracefully retired. Please come in. Would you like some tea?
Oh dear.
I would be honored.
And his house, it's fairly neat and tidy, but it looks lived in. And then on kind of like the big dining room table is rolled out is this long Chinese scroll. I usually do not let others in, but you appear to be at least cordial with Mr. Brady. And Jack.
Yes, we would like to help him, but those times are quite complex and dangerous.
I'm not certain that there is much help for Jack. He is probably in over his head.
Sure he is.
That's why we need to help him.
Yes, that's it. And he goes about busying himself making some tea.
You were working on a translation, if I was informed correctly.
Doctor Carter, let's stay focused. Do you know where we could find Mr. Brady so we could talk to him?
No, but I imagine he'll be here before dark. He doesn't like to stay out after dark.
Perfect. Now, Dr. Carter, feel free to ask all the questions you want as Alvin sits down, installs himself, and pours himself some tea.
I assume the scroll was in ancient Chinese.
Yes. Thankfully, it's a specialty of mine, but parts of it are practically illegible due to its age.
The wear and tear.
It is surprisingly in good condition. Some of the ink has faded with time, but the scroll itself, well, you can see for yourself, and he kind of gestures to the scroll on the table.
I'm gonna go take a look. Pulls out his little glasses.
Chris,
Yes.
I know a little bit about terrible things or the underworld. Is this forgeable?
It would take considerable time and effort and expense.
Could we copy it though and translate the copy as opposed to translating the original?
Well, the problem in this situation is that the illegible characters, you might have to translate them several times to make sure. So if you transcribe it with what you think they are, they will become fixed in your mind that this is the answer. While if you have the broken down, you can readjust as you have context for the rest of the things. So we could copy it, but we have to copy it in its broken form.
Why don't I just take pictures of it?
I mean, they would definitely be of use should anything happens.
Just be careful. Be careful not to damage it. It's hard enough to translate.
Yes.
And you guys also notice, like on one of the chairs on the thing is the scroll case, and it is very clearly bears an elder sign on the case.
That's just been bypassed.
Yep.
Is the elder sign broken to open the case?
No.
Okay.
It's kind of like etched on the side of the scroll case, not on like the cap.
Okay.
So I've been translating this for a few days now. I still have much work to go. It seems to reference an ancient Chinese cult called the Order of the Bloated Woman, a dark goddess, a primal deity worshipped. But the scroll indicates that she is one facet of many.
Yes. So they do believe.
And this is particularly fascinating. Apparently, their victims were sacrificed by severing their left arm.
Huh.
Apparently, that is particularly pleasing to the goddess, as they bleed to death. Huh. Religion's funny.
Chris, we haven't heard of anything like that, right?
No. There's indications here that the cult has in the past attempted to summon her to Earth. The time the scroll was written, there was a flood, a plague. The handwriting is difficult to read.
So what you mean is this is not the original instructions. Someone followed the original instructions, put what happened when the last time they tried to summon something into the scroll.
The scroll dates to around the time of the disaster that struck the Shanxi province in 1556. Over 800,000 people died.
Chris, Alvin's jaw just goes slack.
And I believe that was the result of an attempt to bring this goddess forth. An unsuccessful attempt.
That was just the attempt?
I believe so.
I'm sorry, how many deaths?
800,000.
And when was that? The 15th century?
16th. 1556. Needless to say, if this cult is still active, and I believe it is, Ho Fang plays up this cult of the bloated woman as a way to keep people in line, but I believe he is doing more than trading on her name, as you Americans would say.
Have you spotted on this scroll any symbols that are not language?
Several.
Could you point them out to me?
He points out some here and there. You can make a Cthulhu Mythos roll.
Oh yes, that would happen. Checking if any of those were elder sign.
No, there are no elder signs on the scroll itself.
What I was trying to Was the people making the scroll case protecting the world against the scroll case, and the people making the scroll case like believer of whatever they are doing? Like, which part of the scroll and the case are cultists versus people fighting them, kind of deal?
The symbols that he points out don't mean anything to you.
Yeah.
The elder sign is on the outside of the case. There's indications here that there is a means to stop the summoning, to stop the bloated woman from coming forth. But
So it also has instructions on how to undo it.
stop it, not undo it. I believe that if a summoning is successful, many more than 800,000 people will die.
Has that anything to do with the Eye of Light and Darkness?
There's references to this here, and I believe that is some sort of sealing spell or ward, but I've not yet translated how to do it.
Can you explain something to me? And it might be important now, might be important later, but you said stop it.
Yes.
But the ritual needs to be complete. That means that, does that imply that the ritual isn't instantaneous? That once the ritual is complete, there is still time to stop it? Because my belief is if the ritual begins and we just stop the ritual, it won't complete. So it's stopped. No?
I think the difference would be that if we stop the ritual, it's stopped for this time. And if we do the other thing, even if they completed the ritual, it could not be complete. So if one of the numerous cults around the world were to finish somewhere, it would not work. Like, if you can't stop them all, you need to make it so that the ritual cannot work, kind of deal.
I believe perhaps stop was the wrong word. Prevent? Perhaps?
Well, that's what I understand.
If the goddess is brought forth, there will be no stopping it. If the ritual is interrupted, that's possibly what happened in the Shanghai province.
So if we interrupt it wrong, 1,000,000 people die. But there's an option to interrupt it properly where potentially no one dies.
Prevent rather than interrupt.
I feel it's like if the Eye of Light and Darkness exists somewhere, the ritual cannot be completed. If it works anything like Peru.
Think of it. Trying to think of a proper analogy that an American would understand.
I think of it as a bomb. If they finish arming the bomb and they push the button, it explodes. If they don't finish arming it and we blow up the building it's in, something still explodes. If we go in and disarm the bomb before they push the button, nothing explodes.
Yes, that
And
would
if we
work.
just prevent someone from pushing the button, somebody else can push the button. So we need to disarm it.
So yes, if you prevent the bomb from, say you prevent the bomb from being built in the first place, the bomb will never explode.
Mr.
I
Shanghai,
understand.
Sorry, what was that?
does the scroll say where that summoning attempt happened in 1556? And does it matter where it happens? Is there a place of importance for it to make it more likely to happen or less likely, or does it just not matter as long as you have the people, the incantations, the components, etc., etc.?
There are steps that must be taken. I don't know the exact ins and outs. I've only been at this for 2 days. But
Does it say where the summoning attempt happened?
this particular one, and admittedly, I am presuming that it was an attempted summoning that caused this mass death. There's no direct evidence. But it happened in the Shanghai province.
I'm not from around here. Those words don't mean a lot to me. I'm assuming the Shanghai province is a big place.
It is a province in mainland China. It is
Is it big?
large enough to house 800,000 people. Unfortunately, I am not a historian. I specialize in ancient languages, not historical fact.
Is it? Can we point to it on a map?
Probably.
Is it still there?
Yeah, it would still be there.
Is it
We have a
near?
map?
Sorry, what was that?
Is it near the Garden of the Purple Clouds of Autumn? Or I guess maybe that's the other way around. Is that particular monastery near this area, the province you're talking about?
No.
Oh, okay. That's good, I think.
Let me see. I will quickly pull up a Google map and I'll just see where exactly it is. Oh, it's a landlocked province in the People's Republic of China, part of North China.
Oh, it's a
Right.
long
I'm
way
curious
then.
on the spelling because I was trying to look it up myself.
It
The
is
upside of being able to copy and paste from the
yeah.
from the book.
It is like 1,380 kilometers from Shanghai.
How large is it? Like, is it 800,000 because there was a large populous city there, or is it 800,000 just because it covered like a quarter of China?
It is 205,000 square kilometers, with currently 37 million people. I mean, obviously the population was not that big in 1556.
Yikes, that's a lot of people.
The earthquake even has a Wikipedia article. Deadliest recorded earthquake in history. The direct deaths were 100,000 and 700,000 people died from famine and plague as they migrated away.
Holy
Wow.
shit.
Here we go. Call of Cthulhu and a history lesson.
Hopefully that record can just be left unbroken for... Yikes.
So I still have much work to do on translation, but I am hopeful that it will bear fruit on how to stop the bomb from being built.
That would be good, yes.
That's a big bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, mankind will never make a bomb that big.
If only.
Well, we have to stop them.
But
Sounds fantastic.
you are welcome to wait for Jack, or if you like, I could pass a message to him.
What time is it right now?
Right now, it's about 4:30.
We need to get back to a safe place before the sun gets down.
Chris, if we're just waiting and we ran out of topics of conversation, because obviously we're not going to talk for hours and hours and hours, I'm happy to let him teach Alvin how to play Chinese chess or checkers or something while we wait.
I'm gonna ask Alvin to take pictures of the scrolls, just in case something terrible happens.
How many scrolls are there? Is it like one giant scroll, like the dragon scroll?
Yeah, it's one giant scroll.
Okay, well, I'll take as good quality pictures as I can.
Right, give me a photography roll.
Can I take 20 because we have time?
Sadly, no.
Well, I don't know how that roll went, but I'll ask you to take more than one pictures, just to be safe.
I don't know if I can roll multiple times.
It's not a question of rolling, just a question of like Dr. Carter is over careful with that one.
So you could spend 22 luck to pass, or you could push the roll by, maybe setting up your flash and everything at the risk of damaging the scroll.
Yeah, I'm not going to damage the scroll. I'm going to stay with my 69. Woo! But more importantly, I am going to take 2 sets of pictures.
Okay.
And give Dr. Carter one roll, like because normally they're like in canisters. So I'm going to give him 1 canister roll, so there's duplicates in 2 different canisters.
Okay, perfect. All right. Yeah, it doesn't take long to photograph the scroll. I mean, it's long, but you can photograph a fair bit of it at once. So are you guys just waiting for Jack, or are you heading back to your hotel before it gets dark?
I'm waiting for Jack. I think that we can't take any other steps without Jack feeling attacked or backstabbed. And the attack is scheduled to be tomorrow. There is no time. We have to wait for him.
Worst case scenario, I can make the barrier here. It's not ideal, but we can do that.
All right.
While we wait, I'm just gonna try to study the scroll, even if I don't understand the language. Just check the symbols, take notes of the symbols in my little books,
All right.
stuff like that.
You can give me a language Chinese roll.
Oh, not gonna go well. I have my translation book, but I do not have the skill.
Yeah. So you spend some time looking for symbols, but between the like handwriting and the age of the scroll and the parts where it's faded and everything, you don't really get anything out of it.
Yeah.
Other than that,
It's hard to look for a specific symbol when the entire language is based on symbols.
Yes.
Yeah. That's why I asked him to point out some of the symbols to me at first, because I don't think I would find them by myself.
Yeah. But yes, you guys spend some time. Moo goes back to translating the scroll because he knows that it's important. He doesn't really have time for idle chit chat. He does get up to like make some supper. Very simple supper, like stir-fried vegetables and rice. Kind of basics, but tasty. He's fairly good at what he does. And probably around 6:30 or so, there's a kind of like a rhythmic knock at the door. No, it's not shaving a haircut, but it's that sort of rhythm. Moo yells out something in Chinese. You hear Jack's voice say something back in Chinese, and then Moo goes and basically undoes the traps.
Considering how much effort that was, I am stunned that he let us in.
I get the feeling perhaps Moo is not as paranoid as Jack is. And when Jack sees you in there, he looks at Moo and Moo's like, says something in Chinese. Jack says, "They're not really friends. They're acquaintances at best."
No, really.
We're working on that, Jack.
Okay, so I mean, a lot of the guys, and he just kind of like pulls up a chair, pours himself some tea. Quite a few of the guys didn't want to go anywhere near Ho Fang's place, but there's enough. And I got them some Tommy guns, and we've got some Molotovs, so they can create quite the distraction. We're set to go noon tomorrow. Ho Fang will be away from the mansion. He'll be at the warehouse. So have to admire his work ethic. So there'll be some guards at the mansion. Shouldn't be anything that we can't handle. Some of them will be pulled away by the distraction, of course.
You assume Ofang is going to be at the warehouse?
He's got no reason not to be. Despite everything else, he is an upstanding businessman who has a business to run, and he's very hands-on when it comes to it. I mean, once we get her out, he's going to know it was me. I'll cross that bridge when I get to it.
Are you planning on leaving town when this is done?
Really kind of depends on what kind of shape she's in. But if she's able to travel, I've got arrangements made. At the very least, I'm going to get her out of town. I still owe the guys some favors, and I don't want to, welch on my debts. I've got enough bad karma. I don't need more.
Do you need help? We've been talking it over and we want to be able to help you, but we need to know more about what you're walking into, what the setup is, and how we can help without being a hindrance.
Well, he's not going to keep her at the warehouse, so she's going to be at the mansion. Like everything else in the area, walled, barbed wire at the top. He's going to have some guards. The guards are going to be armed. They're going to be a shoot first, ask questions later, so be prepared to do the same. And we just tear that place apart until we find her.
Do you know how many guards? Do you have a map of the layout? Do you have any kind of preparations other than I have guys and I'm just going to go in and shoot everything?
I wish that I did. He doesn't seem to have any more than a dozen or so guards at the mansion. It's large enough. Several buildings in the compound, so we should be able to go, point to point till we find her. I mean, it's not an ideal assault by any stretch of the imagination. But I owe it to her.
Is there anything you can think of that we can do that would buy you time to do the appropriate reconnaissance that you need to do or that you think you need to do? Chris, he's an army guy, right?
Yep.
He knows how to do the reconnaissance. He just doesn't have the time for it, right?
You can give me a psychoanalysis roll.
I can spend 88 luck for that.
Yeah, he's a ex-marine. He should know how to do an assault.
The question I asked him still stands, right? I asked him,
Yep.
what can we do to buy you more time to plan this properly?
I don't have time.
If you don't take time, though, and you go in with half a plan, isn't that going to go very poorly?
The last time Ho Fang sent a message to somebody by kidnapping a loved one, he sent them parts.
Is there anything you can think of that we can do that could buy you time?
Kill Ho Fang.
He's after you for a reason, right? What is that? Other than you being a horrible inconvenience, what is it?
He wants the scroll.
What if we go to him and say, hey, if you give us a week, we can give him the scroll because we're going to double cross you.
Then why would he need my girlfriend?
As a backup. But that wouldn't be like, obviously we wouldn't give him the scroll and we wouldn't probably need a week, but it would give you the time to start doing some of that reconnaissance. The downside is, and I look at my group, I don't know how well we can lie to him straight up.
Well, I'm definitely not good with convincing people of things and reading people. It has been proven time and time before. So this is not my expertise.
If you think that you can buy time by promising this,
I don't know the man. You know him better than I do. This is an idea. What do you think it would take for him to give you time? What needs to be promised to him? Or what needs to be given to him other than the scroll that will buy you an hour, a day, a week?
Ho Fang doesn't want for anything. If you can get him the scroll quicker than he can get to me, he will take that deal.
What if it does take time? What if you, or he thinks that you, have taken the scroll away and for you to be contacted will take time? What if you get on a train today with the scroll to some distant province in China where they have experts at deciphering this, so you have a reason, and it takes you a week to go and come back?
He knows I wouldn't leave while he has her.
Well, then we're screwed.
So if you can convince him that I've left, but that'll be a very hard sell. He knows that she's the only thing that would keep me here.
If this house was being attacked because you're trying to get your girl out. Would he come back home? Would he come back rushing home?
He would, but it would take time for the news to get to him and for him to get there.
Okay. Because we also need him to stop sending orders to try to kill us.
Would be nice.
If you think that you can convince him. But I'm not going to wait for him to start mailing me her parts.
I'm not the smart one here. What do you guys think we should do?
I see plenty of things we should do, but trying to see what we can do.
I think you're muted, Anita.
Totally was. So the idea of taking in Captain Taro's muscle.
Well,
We
that was
haven't
the other
talked about
question.
it yet.
Have you a relationship with the Japanese naval army?
I wouldn't call it a relationship exactly.
An opinion, at least?
He's a good man. He's loyal. He has concerns about what will happen should the situation in Shanghai erupt to the Japanese people that live here. I'm fairly certain he's not strictly Imperial Navy.
What do you mean?
You're British, correct?
Oh, I live in Britain.
You're American. So you're both aware that there are times when you require information on what an enemy might be up to.
Hmm.
Usually your country has a group that does that for them.
Yes. Well, the man was interested in having a talk with you, and we suspect he might have some men's loyal to him around here. And maybe we could convince him to help us neutralize Ofang, or at least get your girl out.
If he can help me
If he has,
get her, I'll talk to him.
I think this is the word to try. This is the only person we know here that could get us muscle that would be willing to act against Ofang. Let
Where
us
could you
talk with
guys
him.
meet that? Yeah, where could you guys meet that no one would know about? And we'll try to set that up.
I mean, we can ask for his help, and if he helps, Mr. Brady could. Oh, yeah. You might want some proof first.
And as soon as possible if you want to make this move at noon tomorrow.
Stumbling Tiger. He usually hangs out there. I usually hang out there.
Because if he needs to marshal any forces, he would have less than 24 hours to do so.
Yeah. You can probably find him there. I can have Fergus get a message to him. He can meet you in the morning.
We'll need to raise our defense for the night soon. So we can try to meet him in the morning and contact you afterward.
I'll be there 11 o'clock. I'll have my people in place for noon. If Taro doesn't assist, I'll call off my people and you can try to convince Hofang to buy time. But if Taro's on board and can get manpower, then we hit the mansion while Hofang's away.
Should we give him a call or do we work through you, barman?
Go through Fergus. If you have a way to contact Taro, so much the better, but Fergus can do it.
Good. Let's do this then. How much time do we have till the sun is down?
About an hour and a half.
Okay.
We got to get to the bar.
I mean, we gotta get back to a room I can securize for the night quickly.
Yes,
Think we,
please.
I assume we can warn Fergus on the way. Unless you have a way of contacting your barman from here.
I'll let him know.
Good. Then let's just head back to our safe space so I can make it safe again.
Okay. Right. Anything else before you guys go to the hotel?
I'm gonna change the translator from one academics to another.
He kind of he waves at you. He's like, "Thank you. Oh, this is interesting." And he goes back to translating.
Oh yeah, I know the feeling. I'm not gonna try to get his attention again.
All right. So you guys get back to the hotel. The sun is ebbing, waning. You're gonna do your mystical barrier.
Yes. Gonna use the Vorge sign and the mystical barrier.
All right. Well, the good news is you've already cast the spell, so you don't have to make a power roll. You can just cast it automatically by paying the cost.
Which is power, I think.
Magic points.
Yes. And they came back one every hour.
Yep.
So
you can decide how many magic points you want to sink into it.
I had put 8 last time.
Yep.
And it's the maximum was like 10, I think.
No, you can put in as many magic points as you like. You have, after doing the verse sign, you have 12. You can even put in more than 12, but then it comes off your hit points one for one.
Oh, I'll keep it to my magic. I'll put 10 in.
Okay.
Um,
All right.
just to be safe, because it came a knocking last time, so I don't want to put less than I put yesterday.
Oof, 10 sanity points.
Ugh, my God. This can't go on. We need to stop him.
That is a bunch. Is everybody around when Dr. Carter casts this?
I think so.
Yeah, we are afraid of getting caught outside of the range. So
Evelyn is definitely inside.
The daily sanity I can lose is 11 and I lost 10.
Yep.
On the upside, you get to sleep. So as soon as that's over, you're back up to 11.
All right.
A long rest, right? Resets that. It's not 24 hours.
His magic points come back at the rate of 1 an hour.
Right, but
But my
sanity is
daily
max sanity per day.
Yeah, that comes back after you've gotten someplace safe to rest. All right. So Dr. Carter, you start to gather yourself, seal yourself, open your mind to this alien entity that allows you to create this web of magic, this web of power. And you can feel her presence. You can feel her multiple eyes staring at you. You can feel her, that's unnaturalness kind of enveloping you as you create this web. And just before you snap it into place, you know that she's here in the room with you. You know that she's watching you, watching all of you. And you know she wants something from you. And just before you snap the barrier into place, you turn and bolt. And as Dr. Carter flees, the barrier chunk into place.
He's on the outside.
He is on the outside.
No! It knows me. I can't go out after him.
I don't think you could go out even if you wanted. Like, this barrier, I don't know how to.
Are we able to
Alvin,
walk out through the
Alvin,
barrier, Chris?
Alvin will comically, because he's done this before by throwing stuff, but he will comically run after him, try to grab him before it pops into place, and pull one of those like walking into a wall kind of situation and bouncing off.
Yeah, very much so. You instinctively go after him, to try to stop him, and you just run into something solid. And Dr. Carter, you run, and you get outside, and you can see the sun starting to set, and you hear this horrifying shrieking sound in the distance as the last light of the sun goes, and you're like, shit. And you turn to go back, and you can't get on the other side of the barrier.
So who's on the other side? Just Dr. Carter?
Dr. Carter is on the outside of the barrier. Everybody else is on the inside of the barrier. And as you guys are like, crap, this is bad, this is bad, you hear this unholy shrieking sound in the darkness.
Sorry, all of us can hear it?
Oh, you can all hear it, yes.
You have to do something. And Evelyn will be looking at Alvin and Mr. Franklin.
Alvin literally has his hands up against the wall.
Magic is not my specialty. I don't know how to get past this. Do we have any...
Dr. Carter, run! Maybe it's not after you specifically. Run!
Dr. Carter is gonna pick out a knife from his inside his coat. That is made of like pure iron, if I remember well.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try to get away from here.
All right. I will get you to give me a stealth roll.
Could you prompt it from me? Stealth is not one of the skill I can access on this tiny thing.
You could spend 19 luck to succeed.
How much luck do I have left? I have 32. Feel like I'm not gonna have any. I'm gonna spend the luck. Uh, like, I need this.
You need a
So
very
click
lucky
on.
knight, is what you need.
Oh yeah.
All right. So you pull out the knife, and as you do, you can see flying overhead this large, dark shape. You kind of look at the knife in your hand. You look at the thing, and it's just like it's so dark that it stands out against the night sky. It's like an absence of light as opposed to darkness. And then you're like, shit, and you run and do your best to find a place to hide. And it, like, kind of overhead, and you think it's sniffing around. And then it perches on the hotel roof. You guys inside hear something settle on the roof of the hotel. Something heavy.
Does anyone know a way to take down this spell?
Um,
Alvin looks around.
Here. Kind of sort of looks like that.
That's not
That is the only way
reassuring at
we're going
all.
to save Dr. Cox.
I don't know how to do anything with that barrier that he uses.
Mr. Franklin, I once shot at one of these walls, and the bullet fell down to the ground.
Well, then we know brute force won't do it. Is there a mystical means? I'm not a mystic by any stretch.
I look at Miss Kamal.
Do we have the book like the spell is in?
Chris, do we have the book?
Yeah, it's there in the room someplace.
Chris, I will look through the book and I'm going to go flip through it and see if there's anything about reversing or taking it down.
Yeah. Let me quickly look through my books and figure out which book that spell is in and what language. Nope, don't need to make any zombies.
I think it was the one in French.
I think it's actually in 2 books.
Oh.
Oh, that would be a super handy spell to have. I don't think you need to call on any gods. Oh, it's in a book in Latin.
I'm pretty sure none of the books that's in are in English, which is the only language I'm actually proficient in.
Yeah. So Latin or French.
I've got no
I'm
idea.
not playing a character that speaks either of those anymore.
Okay. All right. So you're like, you're frantically looking through books, and Dr. Carter is hidden because of the luck spend. But this thing, like, you can feel its presence. It is like coming face to face with pure evil. Thankfully, though, the barrier has a strength of 163. Oof.
Because I do not know how much I need to put in, so I put probably too much.
As I said, it comes down to a contested strength roll. You know, its strength versus the barrier.
On the downside, you don't have enough magic points to cast a second one on yourself.
Oh, the barrier is holding. Barrier got a 19. So yeah, but you guys can hear like this cracking sound as this thing is trying to force its way in.
Sorry, it's now trying to force its way into the hotel.
Basically, it's trying to work its way through the barrier because the barrier is a fair size and it's like hemispherical or spherical, so it goes up as well as down. So it's basically trying to crush through the barrier from the top. But it is holding. It's holding. And Evelyn, hear this voice in your head that says, "It's time." Your eyes go blank.
No.
Evelyn holds out her hands, and the barrier drops.
Oh no!
Great job!
Oh shit!
Her eyes went blank.
Yep, her eyes like rolled up in the back of her head.
Like just white. Great.
And then this, like, unearthly and not even remotely human laughter comes out of Evelyn's mouth.
I turn to Evelyn. Do we see her white eyes?
Yep.
Chris, what does it take to knock someone unconscious?
Would actually be a maneuver roll.
Oh shit.
Give me a sec here. Let me add some people to an initiative tracker.
What the bloody hell
shit.
is that?
You know it's hilarious? You should go read the general chat of what I posted 5 minutes ago.
All right. All right.
What the hell is
Oh
that?
shit.
All right. Miles, what would you like to do?
Well, last I checked, I don't think I'm armed.
I know you said you were going to pick up some guns, so I threw like a hunting rifle and a 45 on your character sheet there.
Okay, yeah, because I was going to go through Jack to get something. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I am going to pull out the 45. I'm going to aim it at Evelyn, but do nothing else other than say, "What the hell is going on?"
Okay. Be 1 sec.
That's true. Franklin hasn't seen anyone go crazy yet.
First time for everyone. Oh, Dr. Carter, from your hiding space, you do see the barrier is holding. It's holding, and then it's just not there anymore. You have come to your senses. You are no longer fleeing in panic.
Oh fuck. And how does the king react?
It starts trying to go through the hotel, starting at the top to get to its target. But now that you've come to your senses, you can give me a sanity roll as you look at this creature.
Oh yeah. Nice. I can go even more insane.
You're only 1 point away for your daily, aren't you?
Ooh, succeeds by 1. The good
Yep,
news.
I was 1 point away from my daily going insane thing.
Yep. The good news is the sanity loss for a hunting horror, if you succeed, is 0.
Oh god.
So you kind of gather your wits. You look. Oh. What would you like to do?
First, I check up on my knowledge. From what I remember, taking control of hunting, or as one of the prerequisites, is not being hunted by it right now.
To bind a hunting horror requires you to sacrifice a sentient being.
Yeah, but I think it was one of the side effect to not being hunted by it right now.
Correct. You cannot be engaged in a fight with it.
So that's not an option right now. Even if I'd find someone random to sacrifice. Okay.
You're not engaged in a combat with it. Like if it's
Ugh.
not directly attacking you, you're good to go.
Okay.
It could be hunting, it just can't be attacked.
Right.
Okay. And I'm out of the hotel, I guess. Like,
You're like outside in the street nearby.
okay.
And there are people like running and screaming everywhere.
What I'm looking for, in fact, is like an agent of Ofeng, someone watching and not screaming and fleeing. Like, we have been followed before. We've spotted a couple face.
Give
I want
me
to see if I find some of those. Sorry.
give me a luck roll.
Oh god, I just spent so much luck.
There are people around.
Nope. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna move back in.
Okay. And then Miles goes. Miles pulls his gun, kind of holds it at level, like, what the fuck's going on? Alvin.
The question isn't asked as much as Franklin is going to ask the question, what's going on? Alvin is going into problem solving mode. So again, what's the rule or what is the role required to clock and knock someone out?
So it would be a brawling roll as a maneuver. So if you
Where's
yep. So if you target Evelyn's token, like just mouse over it and hit T. And then when you make a brawling attack, it should target her.
how do I do a maneuver though? It just asks me to roll.
Yep, it'll just ask you to roll. A maneuver doesn't do damage. A maneuver does a special effect: push, trip, punch, whatever.
Is it an opposed roll?
It is an opposed roll. So Evelyn, you can make a brawl roll back.
Not a dodge.
You could try to dodge, yes. No, you would punch back.
Okay.
I like that. This is where I was hoping for. 99, 99, 99.
Bad roll.
I feel like this is one of those things where two people are just trying to slap each other, you know, like
slap fight, but nobody's actually making contact.
for the podcast people, I have 25 and she has 26 in brawl respectively, and we have rolled 57 and 78.
Stop punching yourself. Stop punching yourself. Stop punching yourself.
Oh God.
There is a ripping, tearing sound coming from above you. Evelyn. What will Evelyn do? That is a very good question. What? That seems really mean.
So we'll do it because this is Call of Cthulhu.
Why not? So Evelyn, you can feel a presence in your head saying like, oh, what sort of toys do we have to play with?
Oh no. Oh, shit. I don't have something to sacrifice.
That's a funny thing. Currently, you don't need one.
Oh. Oh dear. Okay. That's not good. Is it the new moon tonight? Does that not matter either?
Doesn't matter either.
Oh God.
Just trying to do math. Trying to figure out why it's not taking sanity points off your spells. There we go. All right. So Evelyn kind of like reaches out, and again, this voice, and it starts to say something in a language none of you understand. Although, Franklin, you can make a Call of Cthulhu Mythos roll.
So sorry, she's saying something loud enough that we can all hear.
Yep.
Does it sound like her voice, or does it sound like somebody else?
Oh, it is not her voice.
Sorry, you said one person can do mythos roll?
You can, because Alvin doesn't have any.
You make it sound like that's a bad thing.
On the plus side, Alvin has no idea what's going on.
Neither do I.
Neither do you, thankfully. But you guys see the shadows in the room start to coalesce into a kind of like a tentacled thingy.
Oh no.
That will take us back around to Dr. Carter.
I don't know how far I'm from them, but
So if you like run full at this round, you'll be in that room.
I'm rushing in.
All right. And as you're rushing in, like people are like fleeing the hotel. People that were awake. You can see like there's like some paintings that have fallen off the walls. As it seems like it's basically almost like an earthquake coming down from the top down. But you put pedal to the middle, you rush in, and yeah, you can see the barrier's not there. It doesn't stop you at all. Miles has a gun pointed at Evelyn. Alvin is like wrestling back and forth there. She is spouting something in some unknown language, and the shadows in the room are starting to coalesce into a multi-limbed, multi-tentacled shape.
The haunting hour is coming, and I'm rushing inside because I need to get my gun.
Okay.
Are you running where angels fear to tread?
Okay. That will take us to Miles.
Do I get a free line of dialogue before I have to do something?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do I actually try to shoot the shadow, or am I shooting Evelyn, or what?
They said that the haunting thing can be taken down with enough bullets.
Okay, I will shoot the horror.
Okay. Well, the hunting horror is not here yet. It's coming down from above. It's got.
You said it was coalescing, so I thought there was something to shoot at.
Oh no, that's
the second thing.
That's a second thing.
Oh, I'm confused. I thought there was one.
No, apparently whatever is possessing Miss Collins is summoning something else.
Yep.
There's a dragon coming down through the building, and there's arms of the abyss happening in the room.
Dr. Carter came back in screaming that the hour was coming, and he's shuffling thing to get his sawed-off shotgun out of his thing.
Okay, so I'm confused. Is the hunting horror the thing that was outside, or is it this thing that's coalescing in here now?
It's the one
It's
that
the thing.
was. It was outside. It is on its way in.
Okay, so you know what? I don't care. I'm going to shoot the shadowy thing. I have no idea if it'll work or not.
All right.
Do I click the gun or do I click the skill?
Click the gun.
Oh, it says I got to select a target.
Oh, I don't have a target for this. Just click the skill. Oof.
I'm not going to push.
So yeah, you fire a couple of shots off. It just seems the darkness just seems to absorb them. Alvin,
Hello?
you're up.
Chris, even if I were to succeed this minute, do I need to like have like a 2-star rating, or I just need to succeed when she fails?
You just need to succeed better than she does.
So I just need to start with succeeding.
Yep.
Okay. This is the last round I'm trying this. I'm gonna try this again. I mean, I technically did better.
That's true. You did technically do better. Evelyn, you can make a brawling counterattack.
This is where she knocks me out.
I think that's stretching it.
The hunting horror.
Oh no.
I mean, it's got hotel to go through, so
I'm in danger.
you are in danger.
Oh.
Evelyn, what's Evelyn gonna do?
Yes, what horrible, life-changing, world-destroying thing am I summoning next?
You're not. You've already done so, so you're gonna leave quickly.
Is she taking a 5-foot step because she's in melee range of me, right? Do I get an attack of opportunity?
No, there is no attack of opportunity. But Evelyn does. She does make a bolt for it. She is running slightly better than she normally does, but not abnormally fast.
Okay.
She doesn't seem to be hobbling quite as much, but there's still like a bit of a limp. Dr. Carter, shadowy thing coalescing, big creature coming in from above, and Evelyn is making a run for it.
The shadow is coalescing, and the other thing has not yet got in.
Right.
I'm gonna try to first I need to put my hand on my shotgun.
Okay.
And then I still have my knife in my other hand, and from what I know, it can hurt Mito's creature. So depending on how long it takes me to just grab my shotgun, I'm gonna try to stab the shadow with it.
Right. Make a brawl roll.
Try to prevent him from fully getting there.
Ooh. An extreme success. Right. So yeah, so you kind of like reach under the bed, grab your shotgun, and kind of like lunge forward with the knife at the same time. And you stick it into the shadows, and the shadows they start to writhe, and they partially solidify like a really thick, oily pudding. Um, and the knife seems to glow ever so slightly, and then there's this bright flash, and both the shadows and the knife are gone.
Oh shit. And the oh shit is U-turned by Dr. Carter too. Oh shit.
That will take us 2 miles.
So the knife and the shadow are gone?
Yep, Dr. Carter stabbed it with this knife that he picked up in England, and there's a bright flash, and the shadows disappear, as does the knife.
Is the look like the hunting horror has gotten in here yet?
Not yet, but it is getting close. You figure you're a trained hunter. You figure it's probably it's being slowed down by the fact that it's literally going through floor after floor to get to you. But it's probably next round it'll break through the ceiling to this room.
And I'm going to take the opportunity to switch weapons and go to the carbine since it does more damage.
Okay. Alvin.
I'm looking at the people reloading weapons. They really think they're going to do a last stand here? I mean, does it look that way?
Well, they're locking and loading.
If you're going to fight, don't fight where this black stuff is coming from. And then I chase after Evelyn.
All right.
She's out the room and down the hallway, right?
Well, she is out the room. There is like a whole chase mechanism. I'm not going to bother getting into that. Basically, both of you can give me dexterity rolls.
Um,
See, I should have the advantage there.
You'd better with Evelyn's bad leg. Dexterity, you said?
Yep.
There we go.
By one?
Well, more importantly,
Because my dex is only 25.
yeah. All right, so Alvin, you do manage to catch up to Evelyn.
So what I want to do is I want to kind of like I know it's out of style or not in style yet, but I want to like leap at her at the ankles and like knock her down.
All right, make
You
a
know,
brawl.
like wrap my arms around her ankles.
Yep. That would be a brawl roll.
Well, that was worse than last time.
Right. So you kind of throw yourself at her. She's still running, so she doesn't get a free counterattack or anything. But yeah, you misjudge and throw yourself a little bit wide. The hunting horror. Let's see if the hunting horror does enough damage to get through this. Oh yes, it does. So yeah, so the ceiling above the room cracks, and Dr. Carter and Alvin, you see this dark, shadowy, dragon-like figure, like the head and the neck kind of like push through. Miles, I'm going to need a sanity check from you. Dr. Carter, you've already made one for this creature.
I'm in the hallway. Do I see it as well? Do I need to make a center roll?
Not unless you look back.
No, I'm looking for it.
I forget, can you spend luck on a sanity roll?
I don't believe so. No, you can't. Oh, that's not bad. Only 1 point of sanity lost, and you do let out this little this little kind of like curse under your breath as you come face to face with this horror. Kind of tremble a little bit, take a step or two back. Evelyn continues to run. Dr. Carter.
I'm trying to retreat while trying also to shoot that thing, like walking backward and unloading the shotgun on it.
All right.
Chris, is anyone else in the hotel putting up any kind of fight, or is it just like run?
Oh no, they're like GTFO.
Thing is, I know they're coming for us, so if I just get the fuck out, I'm leaving you to die, so I'm not doing that. But I'm definitely retreating while I'm shooting, but I'm still shooting.
Okay.
Select the target, that it says.
Yep. So
I should be able to.
Actually, I don't know. I don't know if you can on a tablet or not.
We're gonna see that in a second. Let me click on it. It seems to select.
There you go.
And then combat. Flip again. 12 gauge shotgun. Unable to calculate distance between token and target.
Yep, I can do that though. Single shot, base range.
She's 17 blocks away, according to this map.
I wish. I really wish it was 17 blocks away.
All right. So you did get an extreme success.
I'm quite good at rifles.
Oof. 42 points of damage. Wow.
Dr. Carter did his service in the Swiss military, but he never saw action. He just trained for years.
That's impressive. Because the thing with the shotgun is the armor rating comes off of each die of damage.
Okay.
But because of the extreme success, impaling weapons do a shit ton of damage. Like 42 damage would kill anybody outright, and as you back up, you fire and you blow away this hunting horror. It dissipates back.
He didn't like that.
Back into darkness. And as it dissipates, Evelyn, you snap to with the voice saying, like, that was... I expected more time.
Wait, Dr. Carter killed it?
It dissipates back into the darkness.
Dr. Carter's gonna fall on his. Dr. Carter's gonna fall on his ass with the shotgun next to him, and breathing heavily.
It is quiet. I mean, the hotel, like, things are creaking, people are shrieking, people are running, but the adrenaline kind of like flows out of your body. Evelyn, you come to, you're running. You don't remember. Actually, no, that's not true. You do remember everything. You remember releasing the barrier to let the hunting horror in. You remember summoning a dark young. And you remember leaving your friends to die.
Am I?
Can I try to guess what happened to the knife?
Sorry, what was that?
Oh, sorry, Evelyn.
Am I still in the hotel or am I outside?
You're probably just outside. I mean, you don't run very fast and very far.
No, that's why I was wondering. It's like, how far did Evelyn hobble? Okay. She's going to stand there on the street, horrified, with her hands covering her mouth, staring back at the hotel. Now, sorry, Dr. Carter, you wanted to know about the fate of your knife?
Oh, I was just. Can I try to guess what happened to my knife?
Your guess would be that basically the enchantment in the knife was basically used up in the destruction of the Dark Young.
Okay. I assume like it was still stuck in whatever was summoned, and when it was unsummoned, it left with the knife stuck in it. But like the knife was consumed by the unsummoning.
Yeah.
Okay. God. I'm gonna need more knives. God. We need to stop Oh Fang. I can't do this another night. Wait, where are the others? Did the thing get to them? Miles?
Evelyn ran off, and Alvin went to chase her down.
Oh God.
Chris, when I eventually catch up to Evelyn, like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get all aggressive at her. My guess, and I guess this is not a question for you, Chris. I guess it's a question for Anita. So, what do you? How do you react when Alvin shows up ready to take swings at you?
Um, I think he's probably going to get close enough to her to be able to take a swing at her before she reacts at all. And then she's probably, like, when he gets in about 6 feet from her, uh, she looks away from the hotel and at Alvin, eyes wide, looks horrified. But when he like makes up that 6 feet with the intent obvious to take a swing, she's going to start stumbling backwards and probably fall down. She's not exactly, dexterous.
Is she gonna say anything?
Um, as she hit the ground, she'd probably gasp out his name.
At that, so Alvin is gonna take a swing at her. She's gonna fall back, and at that, when he hears his name, he's gonna hesitate, and Alvin's gonna say my name again."
Oh,
Chris, I
are
want to
they
make sure
alive?
she doesn't sound like the thing that was there before.
Correct.
Yeah, they're probably not going to ask if anyone else is alive in the room. Are they alive?
I don't know. I look back at the building, but you need to come with me. As we're walking back, Alvin's walking behind her, and Chris, I'm not going for it, but I'm getting ready to go for my gun if she like starts running again.
Okay. Meanwhile, back in the hotel or the shambles hotel, as things are falling down around you, Dr. Carter and Miles.
Oh, God. We need to make sure that they're okay. Ah, shit. We can't stay here. Dr. Carter is gonna stand up, hide his sawed-off shotgun in his coat as best as he can, and start gathering the books and the weapons he know are in the room.
Okay.
Chris, tell me when we make it to the.
Yep. All right. What is Miles doing?
Gather myself up, and I'll just say, well, I didn't see where they went. They just both fled the room, so we either go together or we split up to look for them.
No, let's not split up. Give me a minute. I'll grab the important things from here, and we can go look for them.
Okay.
And yeah, as they gather things up, and I assume most things are relatively packed up anyway.
Yeah, just the couple of books that we were checking on and reading while we're in the room, putting them back in the casing, and like making sure that like the weapons I'm packing, but making sure they're at Anne's reach.
Okay.
I'm packing to go away, but I'm also packing in case I need to fight again.
Perfect. So yeah, so Alvin and Evelyn, you guys get back to the room as they're packing everything up.
Evelyn
So
looks horrified, and she's limping a bit more than usual.
I'm going to bring Evelyn into the room. I'm going to tell her, sit down there, hands on the armrests. What happened? What do you remember?
She's obviously trying to hold back tears. And it takes her a minute or two to be able to get something out, to actually be able to get words that are audible out. And she just says, "I'm so sorry."
That's not good enough. What happened?
I heard a voice in my head. And then could she see anything after that, Chris?
Oh yeah,
You said she remembers everything, but
yep. She was fully present, just not in control.
okay, because you described like her eyes rolling back in her head. So I was wondering, like, was someone else controlling? Well, obviously someone else was controlling where she was running, but
Yep, but yeah, like a kind of a third person omniscient sort of view.
okay. I felt my hands touch the barrier, and then it was gone. And then I was running, and that's all. And even though she's answering Alvin's questions, she's watching Dr. Carter packing as she's talking.
Did you get Dr. Carter to get out of the she?
I've finished. The spell was closing in, and I felt something in it with us, and I was overtaken by the fear that I would trap whatever that thing was with us. The only thing my brain could think of is it will follow me if I run.
Was that
If I
you? I looked to
whatever
you.
that was, I think it was not trapped in it with us because I fled.
Was that you, Miss Collins?
What?
Did you scare him out of the shield?
Not that I know of. I didn't hear the voice. I didn't hear it until after something landed on the roof. It was after the barrier was already up.
Have you heard this voice before?
Have I, Chris? Was it the same voice?
Oh, yes, it was the same voice.
Oh, damn it. So the last time she heard it, Chris, she thought it was her brother at first.
At first.
Did it still sound like her brother? Or definitely not?
Oh no, this was the voice. This is the voice that made the deal with you.
Yeah. Uh, in the painting. I heard it
This is
when. Mhm.
this. When did you hear this voice? So what you said, the painting?
Mhm. In the attic. It brought me back.
What do you mean the voice brought you back?
I mean, I touched the painting, and then I was somewhere else. Not England.
Yes, you told us that. Something about a lizard person.
Yes. And I was hiding, and the voice offered to bring me back. And I was terrified and alone, and I said yes.
I don't understand. Who is talking to you?
I don't know. I can guess. I can try to guess.
I thought one of us brought you back. I thought it was our black market friend. Chris, what was his name again?
Bill?
Ben,
Bill.
Bill. I have my notes here. Yeah. Bill. I thought it was Bill who brought you back.
No.
So you made a deal with something to come back. And then now it spoke to you. So you just did what it
Yes.
said?
I didn't. No, I didn't. I didn't have control. It didn't tell me what to do. It just said it's time. That's all.
We need to go, but this conversation isn't over.
So as you guys kind of pick up your belongings from the shambles of the hotel, make way, and there's a bunch of people around that are like shell shocked, obviously traumatized by what they saw. And you realize, I mean, people in Shanghai here, this is not the first weird thing they've seen. I mean, there's been like 3 attempts on Jack's life.
That beast is not discreet.
It is.
Well,
It's not discreet, but it also, like, the paper will, largely shrug it off.
I also know why everyone is so superstitious.
Because weird shit keeps happening.
But
Dr. Carter's packing stuff. He's gonna like bring out his rifle, look through the lens, and say something like, "I need to kill Ofeng. I can't do this one other night. I'm gonna need 5 more knives," and pack it back up before starting to move out. And his eye is a bit glazed over, like he's on automatic pilot. Like
He's done. He's done with this
yeah.
shit.
Yeah. You see him like adjusting his sight on his rifle, like just saying out loud, like, "I need to kill Ofeng. This needs to stop. I'm gonna need 5 more knives," and start packing things when he's sure that the rifle is well adjusted.
So as you guys pack up and start to move out into the night, trying to find a place, we will call it there. I am shocked at how quickly you took out that hunting horror, but an extreme success is an extreme success.
I did not expect that at all.
Damn impressive.
I did say you were going to need a
Dr.
lucky night, and that's what happened.
And for everyone, that's the first time that Dr. Carter shot a gun in the all so far. So nobody ever saw him shoot before.
That's the first time Dr. Carter has done anything violent at all.
Yeah.
I don't remember him ever taking a swing at anybody. I don't remember him. Like, nothing.
He's been avoiding doing anything violent as much as he could, even in fight, like just running and doing things. But that was the limit. That was the last thing that.
What do you do, man? Make it count.
Everyone avoids something. Dr. Carter's been avoiding fighting. Alvin's been avoiding reading books. Evelyn's avoiding responsibility. It's all good.
Like, and when we were in London, he even thought about trying to go assassinate the lady from the spice shop, and he dropped that. But Alfeng has made him like renounce on his wishes.
So everybody can roll for to recover their luck points.
If I don't recover luck, I'm damned, because I'm at 13 lucks right now, which is not a lucky number for luck.
Tony was down to like
better than
8.
I thought he was down to.
Oh, maybe
I thought he was lower than that at one point. I thought it was 2, but
might have been. Yeah,
it was bad. Oh no! I hope you roll better than the rest of us have.
Just a sec. I just needed to reload Foundry, because it sometimes finicky on that thing.
and the good news for Dr. Carter and Miles, seeing these. Oh, geez, Dr. Carter did not get any luck back.
I managed to not get any. Nice.
But seeing these creatures. Seeing these creatures up close and personal, and knowing that in some cases, at the very least, they can be killed, kind of buoys your self-confidence, and you guys will actually regain sanity.
Ooh.
All of it?
Oh,
No, not all of it, but 10 points.
oh, I'll take it. I mean, I was attributing like the fact that Dr. Carter is on a warpath to the fact that his sanity is quite low right now. But I'll take the bump.
All right, and we will pick this up next week. Actually, we'll look at schedules because I know Mark said he would be away next week. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
so it
Chris,
might be
Aren't going to survive.
Did everyone regain sanity?
once
No.
it was Miles and Dr. Carter for now because they were in the room where it happened. And then once they have a chance to, everybody has time to sit down and decompress, and they basically explain what happened. Then that effect will trickle down to Alvin and Evelyn, just in case something bad happens before you have a chance to get to that point.
In case. It's Call of Cthulhu. Of course something's bad. Something bad is going to happen.
Commissar Alvin will happen.
But yes, with 3 players, we'll probably put off next week, and then we'll pick up in 2 weeks because 3 players is going to be rough.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So we'll see everybody.
Especially if next game is a siege.
Yeah,
We might need Miles.
All right. So we'll see everybody in a couple of weeks, and we'll see some of you tomorrow for Forbidden Lands.
Yep.
Take care, everybody.
Have a good night.
Guys.
Thanks for the game, Bruin. See you tomorrow.